Last day we were discussing about ER diagrams, entity relationship diagrams, and today we have to expand that topic and discuss a question related to that. So I have taken this from internet. So the basic, the first example, let's say the example 7, it shows the craft trading website Itsy is a setting up a database to record sellers and their products. Right now, what you have is basically a kind of example or the question. So where you have to find out, answer, and draw a entity relationship diagram. So please read carefully, right? So let me read this, right? So the craft trading website, Itsy is setting up a database to record sellers and their products. Sellers and their products. This requires recording the following information. So we are going to record the following information for each seller: their name, contact email, and postal address. For each product, its name, price, and number available. Which product is from which seller, right? Product and seller relationship. A unique ID number for each product. So you are asked to draw an entity relationship diagram that represent this information. Make sure to capture the constraints on the relationships involved and designate appropriate primary keys for the entities. Okay, so this highlighted question, I just want you to quickly go through the question first and give the answer. I'll give you some time. So now you know how to represent entities. Entities are represented using, yes, entities are basically, I said, entities are nouns. Entities are nouns. If nouns are further described, those are known as entities. Then the relationship is the link between those entities. An attribute is so other nouns which are used to describe the particular entities. Right? Relationship is basically relationship has a verb, but entity has a noun. So we learned that last week. Now what you have to do? Now what you have to do is please draw the ER diagram according to this example. So what are the entities? What are the relationships? What are the primary keys? Please use that. I think you can remember the standard symbols that we have introduced last week. So can you quickly do this within within 2-3 minutes? Can you quickly do example 7? Can you quickly answer? So if you cannot remember how ER is drawn, so let's quickly go for a result, and now you can see entities are created using rectangles and relationships use this diamond, and then attributes are actually shown using these ovals. Underlined attributes are the primary keys. Attribute can be a property of entity or relationship or another attribute, right? So this is basically showing a sample diagram. So just, okay, now I think you are okay with the sample diagram. Now quickly draw this one. I need answer for example 7, this one. Okay, let me help you, right? Let me help you. Let me underline the things. So, because this is your first one. Here, some nouns are well explained. So you can say seller is explained further using seller's name, seller's contact email, seller's postal address. So if you have such thing, seller will become entity. That's how you identify, right? In the examination paper also, the case study, there will be case study, right? Case study means this kind of paragraph. In this paragraph, please read carefully. If a noun is further explained, so that could be an entity. Most probably it will be an entity. And product is further explained using its name, it has its price, and available quantity, a number available. And the relationship is always between entities, between entities. So seller product relationship, which product is from which seller? That is, and product and seller relationship. So seller sells products. You can say seller sells products. The other hand, products or product sold by a seller. Anyway, one product can be sellers sold by. So how many sellers? How many sellers can? So basically, one product. How many sellers can sell a single product? One instant, one product. Can many sellers sell one product? Yes, what do you think? Can sellers sell many products? One seller sell many products? Yes, one seller can
Yes.
sell many products. On the other hand, one product can be sold by many sellers. That can be possible, but
No.
when you consider a single one, single product, that product you can't say, cannot be
Yeah.
sold. Sorry? Right. That product cannot. So now you know the relationship between seller and product. A unique ID number for each product. So product has product ID. That is not mentioned, but here it is mentioned. Unique ID for each product means product has product ID, and that is the primary key. And seller, what about seller? Seller, it seems seller doesn't have something primary, but you can use seller ID surrogate key. When you don't have primary key, I think you can remember when you don't have primary key, you can introduce a surrogate key. Oh, let's read further. Draw an ER diagram to represent this information. Make sure to capture the constraint on the relationship involved. Design appropriate primary keys for the entities. You are asked to designate appropriate primary key. So, if you don't have proper primary key, you can introduce a surrogate key. Okay, let's go and see the question and answers. Let's go and see the answers. Right, you can compare this with your answers. Next one you can do along, right? Okay, question number 7. Solution for question number 7 is given here. So here you can see it's simple. This seller sells product. So it's very simple ER diagram, right? Seller sells products. And the primary key is introduced, actually email. Email is unique. So no need to have a surrogate key because email is a unique value. So you can assume that email is there for each and every seller. So seller sells product. And anyway, cardinality is not mentioned here. So it's better to mention the cardinality too. What is cardinality or multiplicity? Can you remember? What is that? Cardinality. කියලා එකක් මතකද? Netuli? Can you remember something called cardinality? I think we have discussed last day. Did you discuss or not discussed?
Discuss
So what is cardinality?
the relationship between entities.
Yeah, relationship between entities, the participation, right? Participation in the relationships. We have to say participation in the relationship. How many are participating, right? For one seller, how many products? Something like that. Here also cardinality is dropped here, but it's okay. So you can just, so let's go to the last week note. Um, we discuss about database, relational database. Wait. Relation database. No, I don't think this is not the one. Wait. Right? Now you can see this is cardinality or ordinality or sometimes called multiplicity. It is participation. So here, one email account has many contacts. One email account has many contacts, but contact belongs to one email account. So here also you have, so so Chen is the person who has introduced this. So you have that foot notation, this one. But in your syllabus, they are using 1 to M and 1 to N, this kind of notation, the Chen notation. So one employee has many departments. One employee need to be works, need to, employee has many departments. But when you take a department, it has only one employee. So the, for certain department, so but I don't know whether this relationship is correct, but it mentioned like one can work for many departments, but department has only one employee. I think it should be other way, right? Oh yeah, yeah, it's mentioned like here 0 101, right? Right. Yes, this is okay. One email account belongs to, it has many contacts, but one contact has only one email account. One contact belongs to one email account. So similar to that, you can mention the cardinality or multiplicity here in this example. Let's go to the browser. So you can say one seller sells many products, one N, but one product can be sold by a particular seller only. It is one by N, one by N. This side you can put one, this side you can say one, this side you can put N. So that is assumption. You can say uh, in the assumption section or put asterisk and you can write, we assume that one seller can sell many products, but one product can be sold by the particular seller, a given seller only. මේ පැත්තෙන් එක ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකක් තිබ්බොත් ඒක විකුණන සෙලර් එක්කෙනෙක්. හැබැයි එක සෙලර් කෙනෙකුට ගොඩක් ප්‍රොඩක්ට්ස් විකුණන්න පුළුවන්. Or in real cases, in real, this is M by N. In real cases, this is M by N. Why? So let's assume product and seller in, let's say, retail shops. One shop owner can sell many products. They can sell matches, they can sell candles, they can sell books, food, likewise, can sell many things. And in the other hand, the candle can be sold by many sellers. So it is generally M by N relationship. M by N relationship. So if you mention M by N, that's okay. But no need to have this arrow. This arrow shows this. So no need to mention this arrow here. You can just write seller and product, then their attributes. So, but this actually, why this arrow is there? The thick arrow from product to sales indicate the key constraint and the total participation constraint that every product must be have exactly one seller. And every product must have, it's given, right, exactly one seller, the total participation. Every product must have exactly one seller. So then, so my cardinality is wrong again. So because this, with this assumption, this should be 1 by N. So if you mention the cardinality, optionality. Right, okay. So let's go to some other question. But before that, so let's see another example. Let's try to do some other example. So if you want, you can draw this or modify this, whatever you have created, you can modify. Let's go for some other example also. Right? So like this. So let's move to the example number 8. So read it carefully. So that is a big question. So read it carefully and try to answer the question. So first read it carefully. It's a lengthy question, right? Just go through the question and see whether you can answer. Just go through the question and see whether you can answer. And next, we'll move to a exam question, right? After this, we'll move to exam question. ඉස්සලා මේක කරලා ඉන්නකෝ. ඊට පස්සේ exam question එකට යන්න. Right? They are talking about International Multi-Conference Exam 2011, and it has large workshops. Initial requirement analysis brings out the following information. Each workshop has a name and happens on the particular date or dates, as some workshop lasts more than 1 day. Right? Or it says a multi-value attribute, seems, right? And workshop seems to be an entity. So because it's a noun and it is described. There are several participants, each which may sign up one or more workshops. So participant, so because participant has name, address, workshop which they want to attend, therefore participant is also an entity. There are a number of meeting rooms at the conference venue. Each fixed capacity. Meeting rooms are identified by floor and room number. So it's a composite key. Now it says floor and room number. So meeting room is another actually entity. It's identified by floor and room number, which will be the primary key for that. Every workshop need to run allocated meeting room, and meeting room is there in the workshop. Where a workshop lasts for 2 days, it will use the same room for both days. Draw ER diagram suitable representing the information, particular connection between the participants, workshop, rooms, and date. So they have given actually all the entities are given. Right? Participants, workshops, rooms, and dates. For each of the following concepts, give a brief description what it means, what is key, composite key, total participation, and key constraint. Like so that I think let's keep for the moment. Let's try to answer question A, part A. Right? How many of you have finished answers? Yes. Satira, have you finished answering or still doing? You need more time?
Still doing, sir.
Still doing, right. So what about, okay, anyone finish? Yes, Situm says finish, right, good. Situm, can you share it with us? It's better if you can share in the chat. Take a photo and share in the chat. Netuli, finished or still doing? Netuli? It seems she's also doing, right? Okay, it's simple. Okay, meanwhile, Situm is sharing, let's discuss. And I think the exam question, you have to do this by focusing well, right? So let's discuss this one also. Right, question 8. Right? See whether you create these all entities. Entities are anyway given, right? Entities are given. Participant is an entity. Participant has name and email. It's given. Participant attend workshop. Participant attend workshop. Workshop has a name. Right? And workshop happens on a day. So particular day. So it's not mentioned as multi-value attribute. Instead of that, it is taken as entity, and a day has date. Right? So why it is that? So here I think you can remember how it is explained in the question. Workshop need here this one. For each participant, it's important to record like this name, email, and workshop which they want to attend. So name, email are entities. Workshop is the relationship. Right? There are a number of meeting rooms in the conference, each fixed capacity. Meetings rooms are identified by the floor and room number. It's not, we didn't try that. Yet, every workshop need to allocate a meeting room. Where a workshop lasts for 2 days, it will use the same room in both days. Right here, it mentioned so connection between participant, workshop, rooms, and dates. So workshop is allocated. So basically, workshop has a day. That day can be 1 or 2 dates. So that's why this relationship is given like this. Right? So participant name, email, and it attends workshop. Workshop has a name, and it happens in a room where floor number and the room number, floor and room number are the primary keys. Both need to be underlined, and there's a capacity of the room. Room has a capacity. Right. Workshop happens on room. Workshop, this is total participation. Why the total participation is shown here? The reason is, so if once room is allocated, no other workshop can take particular room. Once workshop is allocated, let's say it's for an example, room number 7. Room number 7, if there's a workshop, others cannot take that. Room number 7 can have the particular workshop only. That is called total participation. Room number 7 has particular workshop only on the given day, but some other day can be allocated, right? That's why this line is also like thick line, this is also thick line, this is also thick line. So which means the room can be allocated for a workshop in a given day and for that only. That's why this thick line. Anyway, cardinality again not mentioned. Participation can participate. Participant can participate many workshops, as well as workshop has many participants. So it's M by N relationship. And here workshop has a room, but workshop has only one room. It's total participation. You can say one workshop, one room, and one room will have one workshop at a given time. It's 1 to 1. It's total participation. And then workshop happens on a day has one or more dates. So this can be like multi-value attribute. If you want, you can put double overs to represent this. Right, then about the theoretical part, right? So it's asking about the key, right? You can mention why one incorrect alternative assign date attribute to workshop. Notice explicitly mention multiple day workshop in scenario. So this is what I said. So you can mention date attribute to workshop. Workshop එකේ attribute එකක් විදිහට date දාන්න පුළුවන්. මං කිව්වේ දාලා ඕන multi value දාන්න පුළුවන්. දාලා නම් multi value දාන්න ඕන. හැබැයි multi value ඒවා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි තියන්නේ නැහැ. Because it mentioned that, notice explicitly mentioned that multiple day workshops. ඒ හින්දා තමයි day එක වෙනමම entity එකක් විදිහට මෙතන අරන් තියෙන්නේ. So they have explained the reason. Otherwise, it will become multi-value attribute. Normally, we don't keep multi-value attributes. Still, we have not learned why. But in normalization part, the next lesson, we will learn that. As well as the entities and relationships, important. It is important to include the primary keys. The participations, constraint, and key constraint. So I think so every table they have marked that one, and so the in day particular date will be taken as the primary key. So workshop can have many days. So that is done by one to many relation. So if you are mentioning the cardinality, that can be one, many, one n, one to n. Okay, what is key? Key is minimal set of attributes whose values are unique. Key is a unique value simply. Composite key, more than one attribute. Total participation, right? Total participation means every element of an entity set must appear at least once in the particular relationship. For an example, requirement that every workshop must happen at least one day and some meeting room. Here, every workshop must happen one day in some meeting room. That is the total participation here. It is compulsory. A key constraint is a requirement. Each element of an entity to set may appear most once in the particular relationship. For an example, requirement that every workshop must be allocated to more than one room